Hello bookworms! Today I'm going to be doing a news and stuff video. It has obviously been a really long time since my last video. I think my last video, Andrew and I were still in my dad's house before we got our own house, but now we are here, we are settled. I have bookshelves. I'm going to be doing a video to show you guys the new bookshelves that I got. I don't think that I'm ever going to be like getting back to my old schedule where I would do like 2 to 3 videos a week. That's just incredibly unrealistic for me. I think I'm going to try to film videos whenever the mood strikes. It's not going to be super consistent, although I am blogging consistently if you want to keep up with things that I'm reading on a monthly basis. We'll see if I end up doing any wrap-ups here, but for now, there's been a lot of new book news that has come out in the past week. I've just felt really excited about a lot of it and I want to talk to people about it, so I felt compelled to film a news video. And I know that you guys like these, so I figured this is a good one to come back to. So the first category that I'm going to talk about is all special edition book news, and I will put a timestamp down below so that you can skip this section if you're not interested in special editions and if you want to just know about general cover reveals and new book deals and all that kind of stuff. The first thing that I want to talk about is probably one of my new favorite subscription companies, and that is The Broken Binding. I am just obsessed with them. They do such beautiful editions of books and they package them and send them out so nicely. The first book that I ever got from them was Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree, and oh my god, amazing. I absolutely love it. I'll put a photo of what the book looks like here. So the first thing about them is that it's really hard to get on their list because they had kind of a locked list for years, since they started the subscription, but they just announced that they're going to be doing a tier 2 subscription. And I am so excited about this. It's basically going to be almost everything that's included in the tier 1 subscription, except that it's less expensive. The books are unsigned and unnumbered, and you won't get as many of the bookish merch that comes along with the tier 1 subscription. When I'm going for special editions, I'm really looking for the aesthetics of a book. I don't care about signatures and numbers because these are my books for my personal collection. I'm not planning on selling them or anything. The tier 2 subscription, the emails are going to go out on March 14th at 7:30 p.m. GMT, which I'm in Eastern time zone, so for me I think that's 2:30 p.m. You can actually email The Broken Binding if you're on their wait list to see where you are and if you have a shot at getting invited to the tier 2 subscription. I already did that and they told me that I should definitely have a shot at getting it, so I'm 100% signing up. Also included is you will have the option to buy any other special editions that they release in their Dragon Sword. You'll get 24-hour advance pre-sale. I've currently been buying things on general sale since I'm not subscribed, so I'm also excited to have that and have a little bit less stress when things pop up. And also basically what they do is they take a backlist fantasy or sci-fi series and they create a special edition of that. They've already done the First Law trilogy by Joe Abercrombie. I'm pretty sure that was the series that kind of kicked off the subscription, and then you get one of those per month. They're beautiful and I have an eBay alert on them because I want those so badly. But the next series that they're going to be tackling is the Tide Child series by RJ Barker, and they're stunning. They released a photo of them on Instagram and I love them. The sprayed pages on these are insanity. And then just in case you've never heard of The Broken Binding, also this is not at all, Broken Binding doesn't know that I'm doing this video or anything. I just genuinely love the way that they do their books. I think they're so beautiful, and they don't actually have that many followers on Instagram. I think they only have 18,000, which is extremely low compared to something like Fairy Loot, which has almost 350,000. So I just want to make people more aware of this company because they just do such beautiful editions. So 3 recent editions that I purchased from their website that they still currently have in stock are A House with Good Bones by Kingfisher. I really like the UK cover so much better than the US cover, and then it also has really pretty magenta sprayed pages. I also pre-ordered The Art of Prophecy by Wesley Chu, which I believe was released in the US last last fall, but it's finally being released in the UK this, I want to say April. So the naked hardback of this one is just really beautiful. Again, I really like the sprayed pages, and then the traditional cover of this is white and the Broken Bindings version has a red. And lastly, I bought the Ember Blade and the Shadow Casket. These are by Chris Wooding. It's a new fantasy series, but it really like pays homage to the original kinds of fantasy series. And I've heard from a lot of people that if you like Lord of the Rings, then this is the kind of fantasy series that you would enjoy. And I love Lord of the Rings, so I have a feeling I'm gonna love this one. And I also heard Patrick rave about it in his February wrap up. So I decided to take a chance on these. I think I'm gonna love them. And then 2 upcoming editions that they just announced are a special edition for The Book That Won't Burn by Mark Lawrence. This one is a new fantasy series. This is the first book in the Library trilogy and beautiful. And they also announced a special edition of Ascension by Nicholas Binge. This is an upcoming sci-fi novel and it sounds really good. I've kind of had this on my radar for a while, though I never tend to like sci-fi reads as much as fantasy reads, so I'm kind of on the fence about whether I'm going to get this one, but nonetheless, it's a beautiful edition. Then both Fairy Loot and Illumicrate announced that they will be doing editions of Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I'm personally having a really hard time trying to pick which one I'm going to get. I think I'm leaning toward Fairy Loot. I really like the typewriter pages as the sprayed pages, but I also really love the naked hardback of the Illumicrate version. It looks like it has tons of foiling, and I just think it's such a clever design since the book is about somebody who is like stealing someone else's work. So both of them are just so cool. There's still some time to pick though, but these are 2 options so far, and I would not be surprised if we see more Yellowface special editions like pop up in the coming months. Illumicrate is going to be releasing a special edition set of the Wayfarers Quartet by Becky Chambers. I think that these look so beautiful. The set includes The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, A Closed and Common Orbit, Record of a Spaceborne Few, and The Galaxy and the Ground Within. And again, just the pages on these are out of this world. And lastly, for special editions, Fairy Loot has announced that they are going to be reprinting some of their special editions. So they're doing reprints for the Shatter Me trilogy by Tahara Mafi, the Legendborn cycle by Tracy Dion, The Blood Trader by Lynette Noni, and the Last Hours trilogy by Cassandra Clare, which honestly makes me a little bit sad that I spent so much money buying an eBay copy of the first book in the series because I wasn't currently subscribed to Fairy Loot back then, so I missed out on it, and now you can just get it for the original price, which is nice for other people. I'm still really hopeful that they will reprint the David Bod trilogy one day. That's probably the reprint from them that I want to see more than any other book or series that they've done. Then moving on to general bookish news, we got the cover for the Atlas Complex. This is the last book in the Atlas trilogy by Olivie Blake. I ended up just adoring the Atlas 6. I've had the Atlas Paradox on hold at my library for like ever, and I'm really hoping it'll come off soon so that I can read it and be caught up in time for the Atlas Complex. I have a feeling we'll end up seeing special editions for those too, but I am really looking forward to reading more of the series. There's like one passage from the Atlas 6 that I still think about like every day. Oh, and the Atlas Complex is coming out on January 9th of 2024. Then we got the UK cover reveal for This Cursed Light by Emily Theed. This is the second book after This Vicious Grace, and it is so pretty. I love that it has all of these nautical elements to it. Next, I was really excited to hear about These Hollowed Halls, which is a dark academia anthology that's coming on September 12th of 2023. It includes stories by Olivie Blake, ML Rio, Susie Yang, David Bell, and JT Ellison, and I'm really looking forward to this. I've been really enjoying dark academia books, and I think that this will just be a really fun anthology. Then we got the title reveal for the 4th book in Elise Kova's Married to Magic series. This one is called A Duet with the Siren Duke. It's inspired by The Little Mermaid and the myth of Orpheus and Eurydice, so I am like so on board for this one. I was already excited because I knew that it was going to be about mermaids, but now knowing the the inspiration behind it, like I could not be more excited. It's a standalone fantasy novel, but it's the 4th companion novel in this series, in the Married to Magic series. You don't have to read the predecessors in order to enjoy it, though I do recommend reading all of them because first of all, they're just fun, and then second of all, there are cameos from other characters. This one comes out on August 15th of 2023, and I cannot wait to get my hands on a copy. These usually have the best covers of like any covers in fantasy romance, so I'm also looking forward to the cover reveal. Then Orbit Books announced that they are going to be publishing Fondeli's next science fiction duology, and I am so excited. Fondeli wrote the Greenbone Saga, which is one of my favorite series of all time. The series is called The Last Contract of Isako, and it is a cyberpunk science fiction duology that is inspired by samurai movies and Fondeli's last career in business. It's a searing space opera that takes aim directly at late stage capitalism, but unfortunately we're gonna have to wait quite a while because this one's not coming out until winter of 2025. Then S.T. Gibson, the author of A Dowry in Blood, is going to be releasing An Education in Malice in February of 2025. This is also going to be released through Orbit, and it's set in the same world as A Dowry of Blood. It's a dark academia tale of blood, secrets, and insatiable hunger. Then S.T. Gibson also announced a 4-book deal with Angry Robot. They'll be publishing their Summoner's Circle series, which was previously known as the Boston Wizards series. It's set in an enchanted modern version of Boston, and we are following a medium named David who must work with his sorcerer ex-boyfriend Reese and Reese's astrologer wife Moira, and they have to work together to break a life-threatening curse before his 30th birthday. The first book in the series is coming out on June 11th of 2024. Then we also got a setting reveal for the second Emily Wilde's book. So it's Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies is the first book. Everyone has just fallen in love with this cozy fantasy since it got released. And now we know that book 2 will take place in Austria. I imagine we'll probably get a cover in the next couple of months because I think that this one is following suit and either coming out in December of this year or January of 2024. Then we got a cover reveal for Curious Tides by Pascal Lassalle, and this one is releasing on October 3rd of 2023. This is book 1 of the YA dark academia fantasy duology entitled The Drowned Gods. It's set in a college by the sea, and it follows a mage who must unravel the truth behind a secret society that she suspects is responsible for the death of several students. It's being compared to Ninth House and A Deadly Education. Then we got a cover reveal for Elizabeth Lim's next novel, Her Radiant Curse. This book takes place in the same world as Six Crimson Cranes, and we're actually following a character that was introduced in those books. I've been trying not to really read the synopsis because I haven't gotten to Six Crimson Cranes just yet, and I don't really want to be spoiled on anything. But so far I know that this one is following 2 sisters, Chani and Vanna. I know that there will be a witch with a deadly promise, a dragon with a terrible secret, and a contest that will change everyone's destinies, and this one is coming on August 29th. Then we got a cover reveal for Ava Reed's next book, A Study in Drowning. This is an upper YA fantasy romance dark academia novel that sounds so good. The main character has been haunted by visions of the Fairy King since she was a child, and she became obsessed with this book where there's a character that falls in love with the Fairy King and then destroys him, and she is then enrolled in architecture school and she gets the opportunity to design this author's house. But when she arrives to the crumbling estate, she's not the only student there. There's another student who is like hell-bent on proving that her favorite author is a fraud, and while they're there they encounter dark forces that are both mortal and magical. And this one comes out on September 19th. Then Shannon Messenger announced that Keeper of the Lost Cities is going to be adapted into a graphic novel. So the first part, which will adapt the first half of the first book, will be released in stores on November 7th. She also announced that she is currently pregnant again and that there will be a 10th Keeper of the Lost Cities book, but unfortunately it's not going to be coming out in the fall of this year like we were previously hoping. She said she's working on it, but there's currently no release date. Then author Adeline Grace announced that the Belladonna duology has now been expanded into a trilogy. So Foxglove is coming out later this year, and then we're also going to be getting a 3rd book entitled Wisteria. I'm imagining that it's going to be yet another murder that our main character Signa is going to solve along with death. I just finished reading the first book and I really liked all of the gothic vibes in it, so I'm pretty excited to have more of this series on the horizon. Then Dark Horse Comics has been adapting Robin Hobb's Assassin's Apprentice, and they've just announced that they will be releasing a hardcover bind-up of the first 6 issues, and this will be in bookstores on October 17th. So the adaptation has been written by Robin Hobb herself, as well as Jody Hauser, who's worked on like a whole bunch of super popular comics, and the interior artwork is done by Ryan Kelly. Then we got the cover for Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead. This is Ashley's next thriller novel. It's coming out on October 3rd, and it is a gothic southern thriller about a killer that's haunting a small Louisiana town. Then we got the cover reveal for Rain by Catherine McGee. This is the 4th and final book in the American Royal series. I'm pretty excited about this one when it comes out on August 29th. Then Elizabeth Lim also announced a Twisted Tales anthology. This is a new book filled with 16 brand new what-if stories, and it features authors who have written previous Twisted Tales books. So Elizabeth Lim, Jen Kalanita, Liz Braswell, Farah Roshan, as well as some new authors, and this one is also coming out on October 3rd. And lastly, we got the cover reveal for Jessica Goodman's next YA thriller. This one is called The Legacies. I really like the cover, and it takes place in New York City, and it follows a group of seniors who are nominated to become legacies. 3 of them were people that everyone expected to join this elite club, but the final one is actually a scholarship student from Queens, so everyone is kind of like, how did this happen? And I believe it all culminates in the legacy ball, and there are a lot of secrets that come out, and it just sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. And this one comes out on July 25th. And then lastly, I just have 3 really quick film and TV things to mention. So the first one being, we got the first trailer for Peter Pan and Wendy, and I think it looks absolutely amazing. I'm so excited. I'm always up for a good old Peter Pan adaptation. This one's going to be coming to Disney Plus on April 28th, and I cannot wait to watch it. Then it was announced that Guillermo del Toro is going to be doing an animated adaptation of Kazuo Ishigero's The Buried Giant, which is really exciting. That is such a cool collaboration. So similar to Pinocchio, del Toro is going to be partnering with Shadow Machine to do stop motion animation, and the film will eventually be released on Netflix, but this is super early. We have no details beyond that, no release date or anything like that yet. And then lastly, it was announced that the next season of Star Trek Discovery will be its final season. So Andrew and I are currently watching Star Trek Discovery, and once we catch up on this, will have seen all of the Star Trek, which just feels like the biggest accomplishment. It took a couple of years, but we've watched it all, and I am definitely a huge Trekkie now. Like, I have such strong feelings for this franchise. Personally, Discovery's not my favorite. I didn't really like the first season. The second season, though, has been way more fun, and Andrew and I are both enjoying it. I'm way more on board for Strange New Worlds. That series has been incredible, and also Lower Decks is just like the best. I'm going to continue watching it to the end. We sat through all of Enterprise, we're sitting through all of Discovery. So it's the 5th and final season will premiere in 2024. So that is everything that I have to talk about today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that maybe you found out something that you didn't know about. Let me know if there's any other news that you've stumbled across that you want to share below. I'm going to continue hoarding news, and I'm sure that I will make another one of these because, again, I just really like filming news and stuff videos. I think they're a good way to just get talking to people and get excited about things. That's kind of my plan. But that's all that I have for this video, and I will see you guys soon in a new one. Bye!